Host, your guide, your brother, the sorcerer Armanasul. Uh, uh, March 31st. Goodbye, March. Hello, April. Well, that being said and done, on with knowledge lecture number 3, along with some updates concerning the gate walking of the gate of Kingu. All right, so I had previously given out, design of how you could do it, so forth, so on. I did it myself, exactly how I had it prepared and everything else. It was interesting. Hadn't been for a lot of effort and work on my behalf. Quite difficult to pull the essence of Kingu. However, the next day was much easier, but I had to do it uh, inner inner gateway working instead of an external gateway working. So it makes me think that the gates of the Azonei are actually transformational gates or inner gates, uh, which is fine. I mean, it kind of fits in with the whole subconscious or the substratum of the subconscious, I should say. That being said and done, you would do the same thing. Just your stone in front of you, same calling and everything else, offering the bread and the blood and the hymn to the ancient ones and all that good and gravy stuff. Uh, and you can do it like that. But instead of like setting it up for like a ritual gate walking like you normally would, just set it up for an inner meditation gate walking. Worked better for me that way. Uh, Not that I didn't have results. It was just you shouldn't have to put that much force and effort into something. It's kind of like forcing your way into something uh, when it's not time or it's not right or something like that. And it wasn't that it wasn't right or the right time or any of that other stuff. It had more or less to do with the manner and how the gate actually is. It works more as a gate of transformation, like I was saying, inner working. So therefore, you'd have to do it through meditation. Now, with that having been said and done, and yes, I wrote notes for this. Now on to the knowledge lecture. Knowledge lecture, okay. So let's get started on March's knowledge lecture on the last day of March. Beautiful. Great timing, actually. Okay, so knowledge lecture number 3. Let us talk about the names of the 50, of how they help and actually aid the priest gatewalker. Okay, so as it says about Nanib, knowing the ways of the Agigi, that should be taken into account. Uh, Working with Nanib is a great way to not only is he the the spirit of Saturn, he also rules over the circle and of order in general. And so, communicating with him about the way these ancient ones work is actually the preferred style. He can tell you a lot of things. But, okay. Nanib, the spirit of Saturn, should be worked with during any and all rites concerning the Azonai and the Agigi, for he knows their ways. The Agigi are the spirits of these Azonai gates, and they accompany the spirit of the gate. The 50 names of Marduk are employed to combat situations that can arise in the day-to-day life of the gatewalker priest. They are meant to protect the priest in all ways. So, without further ado, let us get into that. Okay, now the 50 names of Marduk, they're all impressive. They all have their abilities and reasons for calling them and so forth and so on. However, as you progress and you're working with the Azonai and you encounter the Agigi, uh, certain things are going to start happening in your life. Like all of a sudden, for example, with the opening at the gate of Agru or of Aries, the Kingu working. Uh, Kingu teaches skillful intent, I should say, because the whole Mars and Sun thing. So it's a willful act of he teaches how to intellectually combat situations and things, which I think that's very interesting because that goes hand in hand with this knowledge lecture. Uh, Certain things as you're working these gates and things and you're doing them and you're working on inner changes and outer changes, so forth and so on, and balancing your life, what have you. things are going to happen. Um, you're going to have situations arise. You know, people in your life are going to come and go. You're going to deal with this situation, this person, that person, so forth and so on. Well, it's important to understand that all things physical are symbolic or represented by something spiritual. Or is it the other way around? Something spiritual is always symbolically represented by the physical. In any way, what it means is that things that physically happen or occur are directly connected with something spiritual. Now, this being said, they can be combated, they can be changed, they can be differed. They can be made to suit you as opposed to oppose you. So how do we do that? Well, back to the 50 names. Now, like I said, they're all good for something. Every single one of them. They're all for different things. And one day I will go into a more in-depth video on the 50. However, what I wanted to do today in this beautiful knowledge lecture was to go over a few of the ones that are actually quite useful, quite handy, and ones that you want to continuously work with while you are walking the gates of the Azonei, or if you're meditating on them or you're working with them, or however, whatever. So with that being said and done, let us break out a handy-dandy Necronomicon. Nomicon, I know. But it's still funny in my head. You will forgive me. My sense of humor, it is warped, but it is what it is. Alright. So I'm going to try and hold notes in a book and this device at the same time. We're going to see if this works. Okay. So the few that are worth mentioning is we're going to start with the third one. Marutuku. Master of the arts of protection, chained the mad god at the battles, held the ancient ones in their caves behind the gates. Possesses the Aura Star. This is his seal. His seal is drawn, and the aura is drawn on the reverse side and carried upon the person to protect the priest. But you never thought of that, did you? But when it says possesses the Aura Star, so you would draw an Aura Star, or 5-point star, and then on the other side, draw the seal of Marutuku. Carry this on your person at all times, you know. And this will protect you from like attacks or anything like that, or just painful situations that you just really honestly you don't want nor need to deal with. Alright, then let's go to the fifth one. Lagal de Marankia. Put order into chaos. Now I think that's funny. Let's start with those first 4 words. Put order into chaos. When I first read that years ago, I kept thinking, why would you want to put order into chaos? And as I got older, I realized you're not making chaos from order. You're putting chaos into order. Putting chaos into order, so put order into chaos. Anyway, made the waters aright, commander of legions of wind demons. Wow, can't talk today. Who fought the ancient Tiamat alongside Marduk Curios. The word used at his calling is blah, 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 which I won't be saying power words because I'm not trying to attract them. You know, I'm just trying to do a video here on this one. Alright. When your personal life seems to become erratic or chaotic, call upon him to right the waters. Where did it say that? Made the waters aright. To right the waters. To calm the situation, to straighten it out. Alright? Now, you could probably think of 1,000,001 times that you would need something like that. Maybe your relationships are going to hell. Maybe your financial situations are going to hell. Maybe your own personal life is going to hell. That's the guy you would want to call on. And then we're going to go to the 10th. The 10th name is Asaru. This power has knowledge of all plants and trees and can make marvelous fruits to grow in the desert places, and no land is a waste to him. He is truly the protector of the bounty. Oh, I love everybody and their cousin, brother, uncle, sister, friend, whatever seems to be doing videos on the 50. And I've noticed I didn't really want to fall into that category, but for the sake of the knowledge lecture, I'm doing this thing. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the first thought is you're thinking, okay, well, what's it got to do with agriculture and growing plants and fruit, and trees, and all this other stuff? When your well-being is threatened, aka your finances, your means by which to take care of yourself. Because what does it say here? Has knowledge of all plants and trees, and can make marvelous fruits to grow. If fruit is food, or fruit is any kind of prosperity in your life, that's how you look at that. To grow in the desert places, and no land is a waste to him. Which means, maybe you're having a dry spell financially or something like that. That's your desert. Oh my goodness. And so what you're going to do is you're going to make him a part of your life so that you can work with it, so that you can change your outcome. Now, the 12th name, Asarua Limnuna. When a situation is arising that needs silenced, removed, or put down by force. Let's go over what it says. This is the power that presideth over armor of all kinds, and is excellently knowledgeable in military matters, being of the advance army of Marduk. At that battle, he can provide an army with its entire weaponry in 3 days. Now let's think, what does that mean in a common day, everyday vernacular? How could it work with us in this modern age? Well, if you need to be prepared for something and you need all your protections in place, or you need forces of good that are working in your direction, that are, helping you to accomplish a goal or a desire or something like that, he protects your work so that you can go about your business. But also on the side, when a situation is arising that needs silenced, removed, or put down by force. Now those are my notes, because working with the Spirit, I come to realize something. Not only does he provide the protection, but he provides the weapons by which to remove said negative situations or baneful chances that occur in life, And so with that in mind, use him. Now remember the rule of it is that you only want to make one seal at a time. And I would certainly suggest using the Gates of the Necronomicon by Simon as a guide for when to call upon these spirits, using the chart or table at the end, so that when you're drawing and working with them, they have their full power of that said spirit. Now, on to the next one. The 13th name is Tutu. Silences the weeping, gives joy to the sad and ill at heart, a most beneficent name and protector of the household. Here's my notes. Tutu should be drawn, charged, and placed over your front and back door to protect the home or temple. Now why would you do that? Because it's important not just what comes in, but what can come in the back way. Because if you're a magician or you're a practitioner of any sort, you know good and well, there's always that sneaky one shot. Somebody found that weak chink in your armor, or just found a soft spot or something, found an easy target at you. Well, that's the back door. So you place a seal over the front and back door. Now, I have that in my home because that's to protect the sanctity of my temple/home. Okay? Well, let's go on to the next one. The 16th name, Agaku. This power can give life to what is already dead, but for a short time only. He is the Lord of the amulet and the talisman. My notes I got when you need to make talisman or amulets to serve and protect. Anytime you're making an amulet or talisman, like that one earlier where I said that you had to make it carry it on yourself, call upon his aid to empower it after you've made it, to strengthen it, to keep it well and strong and energized. That's what you use a Gaku for, and any other amulets or talismans that you'd be working with. Yeah, 17th name, Tuku. Lord of baneful magic, vanquisher of the ancient ones by magic, giver of the spell to Marduk, Curios, a most fierce enemy. So, Tuku. It's funny that they talk about baneful, and he can do this and he can do that. But what something can do, they can also prevent. So in this case, Tuku can remove the baneful effects of the Agigi or the Azonei that you happen to be working with. Like, let's say, for example, Well, like for example, my own life. Since doing this Kingu working, I have had more challenges to overcome for my own well-being than I ever did working through the gates of the seven. That's fine. That's fine with me. How do you become strong? But through trial. I mean, that's how you build muscles, through working it out, right? Well, this is also how you rescind and exercise your own inner demons and stuff, is by doing the same thing. So this one right here, he can help you to remove the baneful effects from your workings, no matter what they are. All right, and then the 19th name is Zisi, reconciler of enemies, silencer of arguments between two people or two nations, or even it is said between two worlds. The scent of peace is indeed sweet to this power. My notes can make peace between the priest and spirits that may have been offended. Have you ever uh, reneged on a deal with a person, you know how they can get angry and stuff like that? Well, sometimes if you work with a lot of spirits, you can accidentally offend them. Well, you would use the spirit to make it right, to soothe the situation, the connection between you and the spirit. And and that's important when you're working with a lot of spirits, is actually keeping up with that. All right. So on to the next 24th name, Imbalulu. This power can seek out water in the midst of a desert and on the tops of mountains. Knows the secrets of water and the running rivers below the earth. A most useful spirit. When means of attainment seem to be at a standstill or unavailable, the spirit can make it happen. You ever had those dry spells where you're just like you're just not feeling it, or there's just no energy to pull from? Guess what? This spirit helps with that. Holy cow! See, that's how awesome this book actually is. I mean, the whole thing, not just the 50. Every single bit of it. The system, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's powerful, it's strong. It works. Uh, if you're always thinking about the immediate and right away and so forth and so on, you're going to miss out on the beauty of the journey itself. And, it's spirits like this that, show you, that truly shine the light on the workings itself and how awesome this system actually is. Now, let's go on to the 26th. Imbalalulu Gugal. The power that presides over all growth and all that grows, gives knowledge of cultivation, and can supply a starving city with food for 13 moons and 1 moon. My notes can cause financial situations to improve, causing abundance in the life of the priest. You see where that's just awesome. And I mean, and who doesn't want more? It's one thing to be thankful for everything you have, but then there's times when you need more, and that's how you would do it. Okay. 29th name, Mala. Draw the back of the worm, cut it in twain, Lord of bravery and courage, and gives those qualities to the priest who desire it, or to others the priest may decide. Mala, when requiring bravery and courage for any situation, you ever find those situations where you're just like, it just shakes you to your core, makes you uneasy, stuff like that? Well, in those moments, you need bravery and courage to overcome the obstacles and the challenges set before you. Wow, holy crap. Who'd have thought that a spirit like that would actually be the best thing in the world? Teaches one to be truly courageous, no matter the situation. Remember, it is that I am pure of heart and valiant soul. I stand before thee, pure and holy, fearless. Because remember, peace, blessings, and power. And that's the power of the thing. All right. Then we're going to go to the 35th name. Zulumar. Gives tremendous strength as of 10 men, as one man lifted the part of Tiamat that was to become the sky from the part that was to become the earth. Strength. Why? Well, I don't see myself ever being a weightlifter, blah, blah, blah. No, listen to this. This is in my notes. Gives strength, or more aptly, vitality to the priest. Some workings can negatively affect one's health or vitality, which is strength to the individual. Combats being lethargic or lack of willpower, as well as physical energy. So that's how that spirit is useful. And how, I don't know, it's needed sometimes. Because sometimes the more of this stuff you do, it's like it takes more from you than it gives. But the only reason why it seems that way is because you don't know how to reach out and ask for help. And that's where these things come in. And that's also where humility and the progression of your own self comes in through your own psyche and the evolution of your soul and all this other stuff. This is where the temperance aspect of humility comes in, is learning to ask. And this is how you do it. All right, so on to the 39th. Aranuna, giver of wisdom, counselor to our father Enki, knower of the magical covenant and of the laws and of the nature of the gates. Gives great wisdom concerning gate walking and the laws by which the spirits are governed. You might be saying, well, that's the same thing. No, it's not really the same thing. You have to kind of understand. Certain spirits abide by certain rules and laws. Sometimes you're not aware of it. Well, this spirit helps you to understand the difference and to understand how they do differ. And that is why that is so important. All right, the 43rd name is Kingu. This is the power that laid captured to the commander of the forces of the Ancient Ones, Kingu, mighty demon, that Marduk may lay hold of him and with its blood create the race of man and seal the covenant. Kingu helps the priest commune with spirits astrally, as well as teaching the ways of binding and the sealing of pacts. So this spirit is actually quite useful in how to bind your adversaries, how to bind your enemies, how to bind baneful spirits that are up to no good and that just wish to wreak havoc and destruction upon you. And it also helps with how to create pacts with certain spirits, which is a very important part of magical traditions in general. Now, the 47th name is Adu, which is funny because to me it sounds like it's the French adieu when they're saying goodbye, whatever. But anyway, raises storms that fill the entire heavens and causes the stars to tremble on the very gates of the Igigi to shake in their stead. Can fill the skies with its brightness even in the darkest hour of the nights. Adu can aid the priest in removing negative energies from self, and the environment can be used to break bindings. So if you feel as if you've been bound by somebody or somebody's doing baneful magic to you or whatever, this can remove the binding that they have on you. And if you feel like you're constantly being attacked, it can also remove the connection between you and the spirit that is causing you harm. Food for thoughts and all that. Now, on to the 48th. The 48th name is Asharu. Knower of the treacherous ways, gives intelligence of the future and also of things past. Put the gods in their courses and determine their cycles. This is one that I really, really like, and here's why. Asharu can teach the crooked serpent's path and its ways to the priest. Can also alter or change the order or direction someone or something is taking, allowing the priest to take his or her fate into their own hands. This is how you redirect the course of your life, of your direction. This is actually a very good spirit if you were a beginner to begin with. And I think it's funny that's towards the end, because it allows you to take control of your own life. And if you, like, let us say, for example, that you're living at home, and that's not your desire, that everything you've done has failed so far, but, you still wish, individuality and have your own place, your own thing. This spirit allows you to take control of your life a lot better than just, hapstandly, just erratically going out there and just trying to do something. This one kind of gives you a little bit of order, a little bit of focus on how you can do this. Now, those are the ones that I particularly find useful for working with the Azonei or the abominations or the ancient ones, so forth and so on. Now, like I said, that is by no far the immediate, because there's 50 there, and I guess you could use all 50 if you have different reasons for it. Part of it is understanding what the spirits do, what they truly do. Because if you're going by just what somebody wrote, you're going to miss out on the fullness, the extent of what these spirits are actually capable of doing. You have to read between the lines. I didn't say make up stuff in your head. Read between the lines. So forth and so on. Like the one about strength. As of 10 men. Well, that's great and dandy. I don't need physical strength. I need vitality, life, to keep moving, to keep going, to willpower, strength, integrity, intelligence, just force. And that is the force within you. So, like I said, see, it's in things like that you have to read between the lines. Now, you might be asking, how is this a knowledge lecture? Here's how it's a knowledge lecture. Okay, in the sense that I'm sharing something with you from a point of view of how you can use it to aid in your working. You know what I'm saying? Because the more of your own hands you put into your life and the molding of your own soul, of your own psyche, of your own spirit, of just who you are. It is one thing to take control of your life, to go out, get a job, get a home, blah, 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 and do all this other stuff. But then there's a part where you are spiritually responsible for yourself as well. And these things allow you to not just take care of it physically, but to be able to handle the shit that comes at you. Like, for example, I've noticed my brothers at the Black Tower, two of them in particular, William Hill doing his videos on the 50 names, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to seem like I was jumping on a bandwagon or whatever like that. But this is how I approach it, okay? And no, like I said, it's by far not all the 50, but it's the ones that are most useful, because I don't find having to curse people or bind folks or any of this other stuff too useful. And here's what I mean by that. I am consumed and filled with blessing, abundance, and prosperity. At times I have to bind dumb people. At times I have to exercise my surroundings, myself, so forth and so on. But that's like gravity, how it holds everything down. Well, in a sense, these negative things that stick to you, it's just like gravity. It's just part of it. You just have to learn to work through it. And, all the way up to Lamadou Dingir, or Priest of the Necro, as I like to call him, making his video that he did the other day. Dude, that's freaking beautiful. People need to understand that the role of the exorcist is a role of the priest itself. You have to learn when to remove things, when to banish things, when to bind them, so forth and so on. But that's not what we focus on. That's not what we keep our mind on, because where thought goes, energy flows, as they keep saying. So what you want to do is, if you're filled with joy, completion, fulfillment, abundance, prosperity, grace, mercy, you'd be amazed. You are radiating that energy, and the universe has no choice but to grant you your wish, in a sense, and just create the universe in the way that you've created it through your irradiating of energy, of your type of energy. And so, in a sense, this is called taking control of one's life, taking control of one's fate. And that's how this is a knowledge lecture. With that being said and done, I wish each and every single one of you peace, blessings, and power. Till next time.